Today, I'm going to be going over 5 signs someone doesn't communicate well. Obviously, not everyone was taught how to communicate. In fact, I would argue most people weren't. That doesn't mean they're bad or incapable. It just means they've been surviving with the only communication tools they had access to. And those tools? Sometimes they're rusty, sometimes they're broken, and sometimes they're actually defense mechanisms dressed up as communication. You might notice this in a parent, a partner, a boss, or maybe even in yourself, because no one handed us a guidebook on how to speak with emotional clarity, how to listen without our egos getting in the way, or how to ask for what we need without attacking the other person. That kind of communication takes self-awareness, practice, and a whole lot of unlearning. Sign number 1, they get super defensive. When I say defensiveness, I mean instantly defensive. You say something slightly uncomfortable, maybe even really gentle, like, hey, can I talk to you about something that's been on my mind? And they're already bracing for battle. Their eyes narrow, their arms cross, their tone shifts. Even before you finish your sentence, you feel it. The person is not hearing you. They're getting ready to defend themselves. Now, we all get defensive from time to time, it's normal, but if every single piece of feedback is met with defensiveness, it's not a coincidence, it's a pattern, and that pattern is telling you that this person doesn't feel emotionally safe enough to take in any perspective other than their own. It's like their nervous system is trained to treat any form of feedback as a threat instead of as information. So what happens? You bring up something that hurt, and they go to, that's not what I meant, you're twisting my words. You express a need, and they'll respond with, well, what about what you did last week? You gently say, I felt left out, and they come back with, oh my God, you are so sensitive. That is not a conversation. That's a shutdown masked as engagement. It's someone prioritizing their own discomfort over the impact their actions had on you. People who communicate well aren't perfect. They just understand that they don't need to armor up every single time that someone brings up an issue. They don't see feedback as a threat. They see it as an opportunity to understand the person in front of them better. And yes, that takes work. It takes self-trust, because if you don't feel safe within yourself, you'll turn every piece of feedback into a personal failure. That's what makes defensiveness so common, but also so hard to be around. Sign number 2, they always need to be right. Now let's talk about the need to be right. You know exactly what this feels like. Conversations don't feel like conversations. They feel like competitions. You bring up a concern and suddenly they are lecturing, nitpicking, talking over you, correcting details that aren't even relevant. Here's how it shows up. You say something vulnerable and they go, well, that's not exactly what happened. You express a different opinion and they start building their counter argument before you even finish speaking. Or they'll keep asking rhetorical questions designed to trap you, like, but don't you think if you'd just done X, then none of this would have happened? This isn't communication, it's domination. And what gets lost? The relationship, the connection, the point, because the conversation turns into a courtroom. And instead of asking, how can I understand where you're coming from? They're stuck in, how can I prove that I'm not the one at fault? People who are stuck in this mindset often learn to equate being wrong with being weak. Maybe they were punished for mistakes growing up. Maybe they internalized the belief that credibility equals invincibility. But in reality, healthy communicators can say, you're right, or that wasn't fair of me, or even, I don't know, but I'm open to hearing more. The need to be right is a trap because it doesn't create clarity, it creates distance. Sign number 3, they shut down. Not all poor communication is loud. Sometimes it's total silence. And this one, it feels the most confusing. You bring up a problem, you're nervous, you're being thoughtful, and then nothing. They go quiet. Their body stiffens, they avoid eye contact, they change the subject, or they get up and walk away. And you're left sitting there thinking, wait, did I do something wrong? This dynamic is especially common in people who grew up in chaotic households where speaking up didn't feel safe. For them, silence was safety. Shutting down meant self-preservation. But here's what it feels like on the receiving end. You feel invisible, you feel abandoned in the middle of a conflict, you're left holding all the emotional weight of the conversation. That's not healthy, that's not calm, that's emotional withdrawal. Healthy communicators might still feel overwhelmed, but they name it. They'll say, this is a lot, I need 20 minutes to collect myself, but I'm not going anywhere. Let's keep talking after. That is massively different from the silent treatment. Let's be clear, shutting down out of overwhelm is not the same as the silent treatment. The silent treatment is a manipulative tactic. It's a form of control. It's when someone intentionally withholds communication to punish or destabilize the other person. That creates anxiety on purpose. Shutting down, on the other hand, often comes from emotional flooding, and while it still impacts the relationship, it doesn't come from the same place of control or intentional harm. Someone who shuts down isn't avoiding conflict. They're avoiding connection that needs to happen through conflict. Sign number 4, they attack instead of ask. This one is heartbreaking because it usually comes from a place of deep pain, but the way it shows up is destructive. Instead of saying, I'm feeling unimportant and I need some reassurance, they say, you never prioritize me. Instead of saying, I need more kindness from you, they say, you've become cold and selfish. The message underneath the attack is valid. The delivery is what destroys the conversation. People who don't know how to ask for what they need often grew up in environments where needs were ignored or mocked. So now they mask their vulnerability with aggression. But the result? The other person either shuts down or gets defensive. No one feels heard, and the original need never gets met. Great communication is vulnerable, it's clear, it's grounded in owning your emotion instead of blaming someone else for it. So instead of saying, you always make me feel invisible, a healthier version might sound like, when that happened, I felt really unseen, and I want to feel more valued in this relationship. See the difference? One creates a wall, the other creates a doorway. Sign number 5, they make everything about themselves. This one is sneaky because it can look like someone is engaging. They're nodding, they're talking, they're animated, but every time you share something meaningful, the conversation gets pulled away from you. You say, I've been feeling really anxious lately, and they go, same, I've had the worst anxiety, let me tell you what happened to me last week. It happens over and over. They take over the story. They cut you off to share a bigger version of your problem, and they shift the topic entirely back to themselves without ever circling back. And here's the key. They don't even realize they're doing it. To them, they might think they're relating, but they're not actually checking in. They're not asking follow-up questions. They're not leaving any space for you. That's not mutual dialogue. That's self-centered monologuing. Real communication includes reciprocity. It's a back and forth, not a performance. And someone who communicates well will say things like, I relate to that. Can I share something? Thank you for telling me that. How are you holding up now? That sounds really hard. Do you want to talk more about it? That's the kind of language that makes someone feel seen. You might be watching this and thinking, okay, I've done a few of these. That's normal. Every single one of us has communication blind spots. What matters is what you do once you become aware of them. The goal of this video isn't to call people out. It's to call people into better conversations, into more honest self-reflection, into a version of communication that doesn't rely on defense, shutdown, blame, or ego. Because communication isn't just about what you say, it's about how safe someone feels talking to you. And if you can start from that mindset, even imperfectly, you're already miles ahead. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and see you in the next one.